Welcome into Three Questions with Ivan Maisel, where Ivan brings his insight on all things college football to us here on the On3 YouTube channel. Ivan, we have an Oklahoma Sooner-based three questions for you today. So without further ado, the Sooners haven't been tested too much in the early parts of the regular season. With that being said, where do you put them right now when it comes to the Big 12 race?
Big 12 is a fascinating race this year, and you're right, they've kind of been under the radar because of the big upsets in other places and what's gone on in Lincoln. Oklahoma's kind of been the dog that didn't bark or hasn't barked yet, and that's good. That's really good because it means that Brent Venables is getting the job done early. I still like him at the top of the league. I mean, Baylor, I think, might be the best team in the league, but Iowa State's looked better. Kansas State looks pretty darn good. Kansas looks good too, for that matter. But Oklahoma's got as good athletes as Baylor, probably the two best groups in the league, and I haven't mentioned Oklahoma State. Obviously, they're very, very good and very tough. But Oklahoma's right in the mix.
It feels like at this point in the year, no news is almost good news for Brent Venables, like you alluded to, because a lot of new things with a new OC, a new quarterback, a bunch of new players from the transfer portal. No news is kind of good news right now for the Sooners. But with that being said, they weren't necessarily a team that were a trendy pick for the college football playoff for a lot of the expert types. Is Oklahoma being slept on, in your opinion, nationally?
Well, yeah, JD, they're being slept on, but I think with good reason. We haven't seen Brent Venables as a head coach, and as much respect as he has garnered over a 30-year coaching career on the defensive side of the ball for teams that did nothing but win. I think, if my memory serves, he's never had a losing season anywhere. Maybe 1 year at Kansas State, but my point is, he's got a lot of respect, but I won't speak for everybody. I just kind of wanted to see what happens. And we all assume he will slide into that role as a head coach, but just wanted to see. And I think there is a little bit of wait and see about OU.
And for a guy like Brent Venables, who it sounds like at least had a lot of other opportunities to leave Clemson for this head coaching job, that head coaching job, for it to be Oklahoma, a place that he has a lot of experience at, a place that he feels comfortable, a place that it feels like he really gets what it means to be Oklahoma Sooner material. I think it could be a really quick marriage. And I mean, that's why I had him honestly go. I'll say it right here. I had him going to my college football playoff at the beginning of this whole talking season ordeal. So maybe I'm biased there, but I'm excited to see how it comes together. And they got themselves a little game in Lincoln, Nebraska, which it's shaping up just perfectly for Nebraska. Our head coach is fired. The dog days are here in Nebraska. Nobody's going to give us a chance. Is there a chance this Nebraska team pushes Oklahoma with maybe the pressure bubble being burst of Scott Frost being fired?
Well, sure. I mean, that's a great scenario. It'd be a great story, and that's what I root for, are great stories. I think, and again, we don't really know who this Oklahoma team is yet because they haven't been tested. This Oklahoma defense will be tested by the Nebraska offense, but also Dylan Gabriel's done pretty well at start. We know he's an accomplished quarterback. He's in an offense he's comfortable in, and Nebraska hasn't stopped anyone. So with that in mind, I think Nebraska is going to push Oklahoma because Nebraska is a pretty good team, or should be a pretty good team. And as you say, they're going to play a lot more freely. But I think Oklahoma, it's still their game to lose, even though it is in Lincoln.
Yeah, it's interesting. You have a transfer quarterback, but you have a quarterback who has experience with his offensive coordinator, and so there's kind of a continuity there. So I'm with you. I'm fascinated to see if Nebraska can push Oklahoma a little bit and make it, like you said, a great story. So we'll see what happens there. But Ivan, any chance you get out to see the Huskers or the Sooners at any point this year? I know you're always on the road during college football season. Any chance to see those programs?
That'll be up to them, JD, because I am a front runner. I'm going to go where the best teams are. So I love going to both campuses, love both stadiums, and both cultures are just so much fun and contributes so much to what makes this job fun. So I'd love to go back.
Marty Smith has a quote in his book. He says, when fans come up and ask me, hey, how come you're not going to my school's games or whatever it is, he says, I go where they're good. So it's encouraging to hear that you've switched with that same sort of philosophy. But Ivan, as always, thank you so much for coming on here and dropping some knowledge on us. Folks, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, follow Ivan on Twitter. A lot of great things we're able to do here on this channel, one of them being able to pick Ivan's brain on a weekly basis. So we will see y'all next time on 3 Questions with Ivan Maisel. Ivan, as always, thank you so much. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.